Hello from Tucson, Arizona. This is Laura with a finished object. I am TheYarnCloset AZ on Instagram and TheYarnCloset over on Patreon, where I publish a lot of free patterns and do a bit of a blog. I'm a legally blind knitter and mom. My mom is also a legally blind mom and knitter, now loom knitter. She's becoming far more successful with that. She has just passed my standard of legal blindness. She's just gotten slightly worse than I am. I've been legally blind since my 30s. I've always been legally blind in this eye. So anyway, we talk a lot about that and a lot about other stuff. And today I'm talking about this lovely cowl pattern that flew off my needles in a day. I started it yesterday morning and I just finished it. I could have finished it 4 hours ago, but the last 10 rows took 4 hours. And somebody recently said, after I posted some stuff about our eyesight, well, how do you even read the patterns? It's hard. We have these computer-like things that read or magnify that help us. Or I get a lot of digital content and have it read to me. I use earbuds a lot. And when people say, oh, it's an easy to memorize stitch pattern, it still may not be easy for us because we have to memorize it from reading it the first time. It has to be simple enough that we can memorize it right there before we've even done it. Because we can't just easily look back every few stitches, because it takes concentration and focus and rulers and sometimes extra pieces of paper to block out writing and all this stuff. So that definitely slows us down in a lot of areas of life, because blind is slow. You have to be slow. And so I did this myself. Like, this is my own little pattern. Well, what do you bet? Is there a wonk there? Is that my beginning of round? Yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to do that jogless beginning of round business. Someday. So it's just a simple unblocked. It's 11 by 8. And I'm also going to block it and take some pictures and see what happens. Or maybe not, because I haven't decided if I'm giving this to someone or keeping it myself. Because I actually kind of like it unblocked and a little more bunched up. It's a basket weave pattern with some stripes. And honestly, people, I've been knitting hats, and it would take me 3-4 days of monogamy to get a hat this size out. Or comparable yarn consumption. I think it was just that very, very simple pattern, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to remember it the whole way along, because in researching the basket weave pattern, I found that you're better off to have some stockinette stitch rows between your basket weaves so that they actually pop better. And your piece doesn't get as bunchy. And then my solid rows here were this fun yarn, so I just loved the color. But honestly, what I realized is when there's a little bit of interest and something, I do actually knit faster. When it's just that stockinette slog, I really just don't do it well. Because when you're thinking about that short sentence you're typing, you might type it slower than when you're typing dictation and you're just going, because you've got to go fast, and you get to that point where you're doing it without thinking about it. Because I do so much of it by feel. And like my mom said, she was able to get with the looms very quickly into not really thinking about it. And I only ever had to think about it at the beginning of my rounds. And I could just whip. And I loved it. Oh my gosh. gosh. And it feels good and it's wonderful. And I was going to give it to someone. It was going to be a gift. But look at how well it fits me. Oh my gosh, it just fits me so well. And then you say, well, knit another one. And certainly I could absolutely knit another one. It is an easy pattern. I would love to. How many times when we say, oh, I'll just knit another one, do we knit another one and it never flies the way the first one did? But I'm thinking, because this is only my second cowl, the Anguli cowl with that interesting shaping, that kerchief shaping, was my first cowl. I love it. I just love it. And so, you know, I used to give every stinking thing away. And one of the things about knitting is I keep a lot more of the stuff for myself. I'm a little bit selfish. And well, that's okay. That is okay. Because it is freezing cold now in the mornings. It's like 50, and then I get on my little scooter, and then it's down to like 40, and pretty soon it's going to be, you know, in the 30s and down to 20. I mean, I need this little bit of extra. And I like not having to worry about the scarf ends. You know, my mom's into the scarves. I like the cowls. I have to explain to her she can make a cowl on her hat loom. Maybe that hasn't occurred to her. Okay. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.